Hey y'all, it's Christy Cook from Teadoddles. Um, I'm actually doing my tutorial Tuesday today. Yay! Um, so y'all get 2 videos in a row, or kind of 3 in a row, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. um, so I had showed, I showed this, if I can get this in the camera, this little baskety kind of thing I just kind of made, which has a little handle for my jar that I keep by my chair. And I just put a handle on it because I thought if I wanted to hang it up somewhere I could. So it was just something I kind of made up after I did this basket, which this one doesn't have a jar in it, but it's the same concept. I was just trying to use up a skein of yarn I had. It's got the little hanging one too, and the fold down. You can fold that stuff up if you want to, or fold it down. So anyway, I had several people ask me about doing a tutorial for how to do that. So that's what I'm doing today. I've got an empty salsa jar here. So I usually clean off this this leftover label stuff with I like to use the what is it, orange clean or something like that. It works really good. I've tried olive oil and all those other things that I've seen people use, and nothing really works as good as the orange clean oil stuff that I use that's made for removing the gunk. So that's what I typically do. I'm not too worried about it right this minute, but I like to save jars because I use them for all kinds of things. So I just thought this would be a good jar to use for this tutorial, since it's just a jar I am recycling basically from my everyday stuff that I use. So and I'm using, this is the center, or what's left over of a Karen sprinkle cake from a project I did. It's a nice thick yarn. It's number 5, I believe, because both of the yarns I used for these baskets, this was a thicker recycled silk yarn, darn good yarn. This was also darn good yarn, but I blended it with a leftover cotton. That's what that periwinkle blue color is, just to make it denser. I like to use the thicker yarns for this because it works up faster, and it just makes it more hefty, so to speak, or a heavy duty basket. There goes my dog barking. Okay, got my dog settled down. I gave them both a bone so they wouldn't interrupt me, but she ate it way too fast. So anywho, I am using a N or 10mm hook. I've noticed that these N hooks sometimes have a different size. Sometimes they'll say 9mm. So just use the hook that's appropriate for your yarn. This project is good for really any kind of yarn you want to use. Like I said, the thinner yarns, I'd probably double them up or something just to get a thicker weight, a heavier, a more dense basket. Like I said, this is a recipe for a basket for your jar or to sit on your table or whatever. It is not like a full pattern, I guess. I don't. So you can use whatever you want to use for this, and I'm just going to show you how to work up a cover and decide how big it needs to be and all that stuff. So I always start, I'm going to be working in the round. So when I'm working in the round, here's the end of my yarn, and here is the side to the, with the on the skein. I can't talk today, y'all. I like to do a magic loop, so I do it across 3 fingers. I find that easier to do. So I'm going to go right around like this and around one more time. So now I'm going to hold it with my pinky over that way. So this is the tail end, which is in the front going down this way, in the front of my fingers, and then this back side is the part attached to the skein still. So I'm going to insert my hook up under that first strand, grab the back strand, and twist it up like this. And then I'm going to grab that back strand again and pull it through to sort of help secure that a little bit. It's still pretty loose until you make the first stitch. So I'm still hanging on to everything and still holding my yarn like this. So I don't count that as a chain one. I count this stitch as a chain one. So that's chain one. Then I'm going to go back under the loop, pull that thread, and make a single crochet. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what this is, if I can hold this. All right, this is the loop I'm talking about, and this is my yarn attached to my skein, and then there's the tail end back there. So now I can hold my yarn like I normally do, and then I'm just going to hold this loop like this and kind of hold this with my other finger. This is what I do to try to keep the tension right, y'all. So I'm going to put 5 single crochet into this loop. I'm going to hold on to this. I find that if I hold on to this back part and kind of keep my fingers in this loop, I can work it like I do regular crochet most of the time. It's a little bit tricky at first to get that started for me, especially in front of the camera. So I got 3, 4, and 5. So now I have my 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to hold this back at the back and pull so I can close up that loop. I don't close it up all the way at first. I just try to pull it enough so that I can get around to my first stitch. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my first stitch. So I always count back from my hook to be sure I'm getting in the right stitch over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Just like that. And that's just your beginning little center part. I like to do 5 because the increments I have to make, they're easier to count for me that way. So now we're going to do a chain 1 and a single crochet, 2 single crochet in that first stitch. So that's 2, and then 2 in each stitch around. So it will be 10 altogether. So 1, 2 already made, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like I'm saying a poem, y'all. And 9, 10. All right, so I'm gonna pull that center a little bit tighter. There we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because since I'm doing the slip stitch and chain 1 in the beginning, it can make that look like a stitch. I just like to do that so I don't have to put a stitch marker there. It's easier than just going continuously in the round, which you can do if you prefer that, but this is just what I like to do. So I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 1, and what we're going to do across 2 stitches is put 3 stitches in, basically. So you're going to have 2 stitches in one and 1 in the other. So I'm just going to put 1 stitch in the beginning, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3 stitches, okay? Because I started with a beginning of 5 stitches I'm going to be going around this 5 times over the 3 stitches, so I know that I'll have 15 stitches. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, just 1 in the next one, 5, 6, 2 in that one. Then I go 7, 8, 9. I like counting in 3s when I crochet, y'all. It just, woo, gotta look carried away. It's just easy for me to do, and then I can get to 30, and then I can start over. So, and now I've done lost my count because I forgot what I was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're at 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, counting's not your thing. You put a stitch marker in, whatever you need to do. This one, I find the counting rhythmic as I crochet personally, but I know some people don't like doing that. So, so I'm going to count back from a hook again. I can tell that this is my stitch, but if you can't tell, count back from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to slip stitch in that first one. So now for the next round, to increase, we're going to do 2 single crochet, and then we're going to do, let me try that again. We're going to put in 4 single crochet across 3 stitches. Okay? So single crochet, 2 single crochet in this one. Alright? Now, if you've ever crocheted in the round and noticed that your circle looks more like a polygon than a circle, it's because if you put your increases at the same spot every time, that's why that's happening. So if you don't want that to happen, put your increases in a different spot. For instance, since I need 4 stitches across 3 here, what I can do my chain 1 to begin with. I can do 1 single crochet here. Instead of doing a single crochet here and 2 single crochet here, I can do my 2 single crochets here. So 1, 2. And then there's the single crochet there. So now I have my 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that, if you want it to look more round and less like a polygon, which is a multi-sided object, 3 or more sides, you get a polygon. That's what you do. You just alternate where you're putting that increase in stitch in, okay? Because each time what you're doing is just increasing by 1 in each over a different amount of stitches. So that'll keep it looking more round if that's what you want to do. This is not going to be that noticeable because it's going to be on the bottom of the basket, but if that's what you want, that's what you do. So anyway, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we got 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, I know how many stitches I'm going to have because I started with 5 and it would be 20 stitches this time because last one was 15. Okay, so we're adding 1 more stitch 5 times, so that's why it's easy to start with 5. Okay, so that's 8. So then we go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so in that round we were putting 4 stitches across 3 stitches. So you just got to add your increase somewhere. If you want it to be more round looking, add it in a different place than you added the first row, the last row. So we count back from our hook 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to slip stitch right in there. Now, at some point, you're going to want to see, you know, I can tell this is not big enough yet, but just kind of set that on there and say, is this going to be big enough? I need another round at least to get out past this edge a little bit. You don't want it to be too much bigger than it because it'll bow up at the bottom. This one right here is got a lot of room in the bottom, but that's mostly because I made it so long because I was just trying to use all my yarn. So I'm going to add one more row, and that should be plenty big enough for this jar. So that you're just going to add stitches until you get it how big you want the base to be. And if you're putting a jar in it, it's just use the jar to help figure that out. So the next row, we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to be working across 4 stitches. So each time you're going to be working across 1 stitch more, right? So we started off, we doubled because we're working across 1 stitch. So we doubled all our stitches. Then the next round we worked across 3 stitches and added an extra stitch. So and then this round we're going to work across 4 stitches and add an extra stitch. Okay, so there'll be 5 stitches across 4 stitches basically. So we're going to do a single crochet here. So 1, and it doesn't matter where you put the increase. Like I said, the more random where your increase goes across that set of stitches, the more round your base will look. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, so I got 25 stitches to put in here. So now I'm going to go 6, 7, 8, I need to move this around. There we go. 9, 10. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right. Now, let's count our stitches back from our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's my stitch. Like I said, you can use a stitch marker if you don't want to count. I don't like fooling with a stitch marker unless I absolutely have to. So I'm going to slip stitch in here. Alright, so this should be big enough for my base for my jar. Let me set my jar back on it. You see? It's got this, you can see the top little bits of my last row sticking out, so that's good. Okay, that's what you want to make it have a good snug fit, because you don't want it to be too big, because you want it to kind of grab a hold of the jar. So now I'm going to start my next row, which is going to start me going in circles. So I remember I got 25 stitches, so I don't need to increase anymore. I'm just keeping that amount of stitches till I get to the top. So I'm going to do my chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet into the front loop only. You see how there's 2 loops there? Front loop, back loop. Back loop is on the back side by your hand holding your yarn, no matter if it's left or right. And the front loop is what's facing you in the very front. So I'm going to go up under it, right like that, and do my single crochet there. Okay? That's just going to help me come up the side of this. So I'm going to put in 25 stitches in the front loop only. Whatever your count may be different if you're making a bigger or smaller thing for your jar. So it will be the same as your last row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I'm to the end, so let's count our stitches back from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Right there. So, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch this. I'm going to take a look at this. Come on, get in there. Alright. You can see how now, because I did it in the front loop only, and I did it the same count, it made me come up the side of my basket. You get this little ridge at the bottom, and you can see it's right in there, nice and snugly. See, those will be kind of cool for coasters too, if you wanted to stop like that and make some coasters out of some cotton. That would be kind of neat. So we're going to continue on and make a basket. So basically, we're going to go around in circles until until we get I usually go until I get to about right in here somewhere. Well, actually I usually go till I get to the top, and then I start making my lip with the handle on it. So that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna chain 1, and this time you're going through both loops, just a regular single crochet. You're just gonna go all the way around. I have 25 stitches, but you go around however many stitches you wound up with for your basket. So I'm gonna get this up to the height of my jar, and I'll be back with y'all. Okay? We had I had 25 stitches all together, and so I'm going to add a stitch every 5 stitches, so then I'll have 30 stitches on this top part, and that's going to help fold over the top to fold over. I'm also only going to be working in the back loop only. On the bottom we did the front loop only, so we could bend in this way. So on the top I'm doing the back loop only, so I can start folding out that way. Okay, so let me just get started. Here's my back loop. Don't want to miss that first stitch, so I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there is where I add another stitch. So now I have, look there, y'all. What am I doing? I did a slip stitch. We're not doing slip stitches. We're doing single crochets. So let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one is where you put your extra stitch at. So there's 6 stitches, right? So you're going to do 6 stitches 5 times, so that you have a total of 30 stitches if your stitch count is 25. So 1, to five, six, and 3 times. So we should have 30. We should have 30 stitches at the end of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. I'm just going to slip stitch back to that first stitch. Alright, you can see how it's kind of bowing out at the top now, which is exactly what we want it to do. I put my jar back in there. It's starting to do its little tilt out. So now we're going to put a handle on this, okay? So for the rest of the rounds, we are only going to be doing slip stitches in the back loop only. So I'm going to take that last slip stitch out, put it in the back loop only. Okay, so I'm just going to do slip stitches in the back loop only. And I'm just going to go around till I get to a spot. You can divide it up or count it up however you want to do it if you want to do it that way. I'm not doing that. So this is my front, this is my back. We'll put my handle right in here somewhere. So we're going to do about, let's see, 6 more stitches. 1, 2, oh, maybe 4. 3, 4. I'm trying to see where about the half is. Well, I want to skip about 4 stitches, so I'm going to do 1 more slip stitch in back loop only. Then I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the start of my handle. Then I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and in the next stitch, slip stitch in the back stitch only. The back loop only, sorry. And then we're going to go all the way back around to the beginning over here, which it's going to get harder to tell where you began at because and I usually at this point will just keep going around until I get it as tall as I want it for the fold over. I did want to show you when I get to those, back to those chains I skipped. Let's see. Where are those chains? There they are, way over there. All right. So let's get back around there because we're just going to slip stitch into those 2. Arm is laying on my yarn, which is not a good thing. Slip stitch, slip stitch. No, I do not like this hook I'm using because this shaft part is too short. I don't like it. It's annoying to me. We're almost there. Ooh, my arms do not like me laying on this table to crochet. It's not fun, I gotta tell you. You would think it'd give you more support, but I'm not used to crocheting that way. So, all right, there we go. Right here at the chain 4 that I did. So for this, I'm going to go in between those 2 strands there. So I'll go up under. I have 2 strands on the top and 1 on the bottom. It just gives you a better grip on while you're pulling for your stitch. So I'm just going to slip stitch right in there in the chain. That's how I do if I'm doing a chain foundation and then going back in it. I always go between like that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you just continue slip stitching in the back stitch, the back loop. All right, and then when I come back around to this, I'll be doing just the back loop only because now I have a thicker base. So I'm going to do that until it gets, let's put our jar back in here, to a point where you can flip over the front like that and hold the back. So see, this is not long enough to stay. So when you pull on this, although it does look kind of like a spout, so it would flip out a little bit if you like it like that. I want this to be a little thicker. So I'm going to go around a few more times and then I'll be back with you. All right, I'm back with my finished little jar cover. You can fold this over just like that if you want to, and only use the handle when you need to. This stays pretty well by itself when you hang it. The front flipped over like that. You can tack this down when you weave in your ends if you want to. But I like to just leave it like that. And this probably could have done with another little round to help it lay down a little bit better, but basically when you hang it, it kind of pulls on itself, so it holds it down. Trying to get that in the camera. It's not working. Let's move this up a little bit. All right, maybe we can see a little better like that. There. Just like a little cozy little jar cover. And when you hang it up, yep, just like that. And it looks kind of like this. Otherwise, might be kind of cute to do that and put a handle on both sides. It kind of looks like one of those old milk jug things. So you could do it like that too and just have it up and just use the jar as a solid base. But yeah, that's my recipe for making that hanging jar cover. That's all I did. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. You can also email me. My email is down below. So yeah, this is a good way to use up small pieces of yarn. I still got this much left because I felt like it was going to be too long, but now I wish I had went around another round. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So there you go. What am I going to call this? My hanging jar cover? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see when the title comes up what it's called. It looks kind of like a mouth on it. Alright, y'all. I'm going to let y'all go so I can get this edited and get it on up. I will see y'all later. Bye.